Hey guys, what's going on? Jimmy the Alley. I don't even know where to start with this. This was my adventure through World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore with a bunch of friends, 2 to be exact, going through the world as the Ojama brothers. Come follow me for the experience of leveling, dying, losing, heartbreak, brothers lost, brothers broken, all fun stuff that happens while me and my friends try and make our way through Hardcore Classic. Before we even jump into the game, let's explain some things. My 2 friends I was playing with wanted to do Hardcore a bit differently, and they wanted to have a set theme. The theme was Ojamas. I don't have a fucking clue what they are. To my knowledge, they're Yu-Gi-Oh cards that are combined into one card to make a better card. I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh guy, so I don't really understand this. I'll throw the cards on screen so you can get kind of a reference why we're called Ojama Green, Ojama Black, and Ojama Yellow, I think the other one was. But we were supposed to all be gnomes, but the person, who set the idea up didn't get the memo and wanted to play a hunter, so he went dwarf. I played a gnome warrior, and we had a gnome mage, and off we set forth into the wide open world of Hardcore. Instantly, I had a problem where my add-ons were wrong. They are not WoW Classic add-ons, but they're classic add-ons for Wrath of the Lich King, which is okay. I don't get why there's not a separation for Classic and Classic Wrath of the Lich King on Curse Forge's mod loader, but it is what it is. I have to go sort all that out, but eventually it gets sorted and we're ready to go. A group selfie is entailed and the leveling process begins. So the leveling, it was fast and slow at the same time. Let me explain that. So it's faster in a method of we do more damage, as well as there's just more of us, there's a safety net, we can pull more, we can kill quicker, everything's fun in the sun with this method. The problem is because of how Classic works and how its loot table is processed. When you've got 3 people, it's triple the loot, and it can take a while for everyone to get the item for a quest, meaning you kill low level / not very giving XP mobs for a chunk of time, trying to make sure everyone's got the items. Some people will get them very quickly, other people will take forever to see them. It's just a slower process in item collection, but in safety net and killing, it is so much more faster in a group. The wolves, the trogs, everyone here, the boars, I think there was some trolls at some point around here. None of them gave us any problems. There was no close death experience in the beginning area, as there shouldn't be. Even when you enter the cave that you will see that collects a body every now and again, there wasn't any situation where we thought we were going to get done in. Bubs, I think that was his name, the paladin, showed up every now and again and grouped with us for the cave. Godspeed wherever he is. I hope he's still doing great in his hardcore state. But that cave didn't pose us any problems either. We got to go through it pretty simple, pretty easily, and we got out of the starting area with 0 casualties, 0 worries, and 0 problems. Only if that was the sign of things to come. A peaceful walk into Dun Moreau led us to some interesting situations. Dun Moreau is a connection point between the starting area and to Ironforge. Ironforge is the kind of main city for the dwarves and the gnomes, and then you have Stormwind, which it connects to, which is just the main city for everyone else in between. But in Dun Moreau, it became apparent that there's going to be a lot of collection quests, and these collection quests are going to be the bane of our existence. Like I said before in the beginning of this video, the way Classic works on its loot table system means that it can take a while for the items to drop for everyone, and when we need 6 boar ribs, 6 boar meat, then we need also 7, 8 fucking Wendigo hide. It starts to pile up on a situation of holy shit, we're never gonna get all these items in a decently timed manner. The boar situation got out of hand completely, where we were just going back and forth between 1 and 2 areas, trying to find a craggy boar to shove a fucking knife into and shove a firebolt into so that we can kill it, and hope that for some reason it has ribs or meat on it, which I don't know where its ribs and meat went beforehand, but ayo. Whatever, I guess. You can argue, I guess, we burnt the meat and destroyed the ribs with my hammer, but I'm not having that for a second. And also, I had an interesting situation trying to split items.
I don't need your whole stack. I just need one. It'd be faster for you to give them to me and me to give you some back. Fuck me. Hurry up, put one in. Shift click it, you idiot.
With that embarrassing moment out of the way, we can get to handing our quests in, which was pretty simple stuff. We went over back to the inn, handed in our quests, got more quests, a lot more things to do. We are now hitting our stride, level 7, hitting the big leagues, getting into what we need to do. But now this is where the deadly quests are. We got caves that are killer, we got leper gnomes that know no bounds in their mob mentality and DPS output. We're gonna have to be safer, more strategical, something as a group we're not very. My second embarrassing moment came in Ironforge. Before we went out adventuring, I asked if the group would be willing to go to Ironforge so I could go learn in two-handed maces, seeming I have a sledgehammer in my inventory. As an agreement, we all went there, as some people wanted to go learn some other stuff like skinning and whatnot so they could get professions up. Don't know why, we were never going to live long enough to see any benefit from those professions, but power to them. With that being said, with how Classic works, you can't just equip a two-handed mace, you gotta go learn it and then re-level it from 0 all the way back up to where you were on your last weapon, and then it starts to slow back down again. It's a pretty simple but cool system that I wish retail still used, but it doesn't anymore. But the problem was, like an idiot, I leveled up axes instead, so I couldn't use my two-handed mace still. I'm bound by my stupidity sometimes. Trying to make heads or tails of what I've just done, I had to go buy a battle axe off the auction house and try and fix the big fucking stupidity ball I'm rolling right now. With that being said, 11 silver down on a mistake that I shouldn't have made in the first place, we finally have a two-handed weapon and my warrior gnome is ready to roll. We have a first stroke with death up this hill. Ojama Yellow, the gnome mage, thought it would be a fun idea to go up here. I was dubious. I didn't want to go up here. Those guys with the lightning bolts hit like a truck, and if they focused the wrong person, aka the mage, he wouldn't live for very long. Lo and behold, not once, he had a brush with death once, but twice he nearly died twice. Like, you could have sneezed on him both times and he would have fell over, died, exploded into a million pieces. He was so close to death twice. The first time wasn't good enough for him. He had to run it back and try and die again. Eventually though, shockingly, it came together. It worked alright. We got the quest done and we got off that fucking hill mountaintop as fast as we possibly could. From the tops of the tops to the bottoms of the bottoms, we go from a mountaintop to a mine. This mine is known for taking lives. These trolls can be pretty damn aggressive. The big problem is, as you can see from across us, you've got to go to that singular point entrance in the cave, and down on this circle section, which you could call a donut section, seeming it is just a big circle with a hole in the middle, or as it would be a pillar in the middle. This big donut section here has loads of trolls, and it is a chance that when you aggro one, there's always a chance that one will spawn in from the side of you or behind you, or you'll just get caught off from not being able to see that much because Classic doesn't let you zoom your camera out that much. You'll get side slammed from the side or the back, and you can take an easy death. One of my friends did die in this cave on their first hardcore character after they got into that point and then couldn't get out. But that's our goal. We got to get into that little cubby hole. We do it with no problems at all. We're too good now. We've lived near a near-death experience, and it's never going to happen again. It just can't happen again. We're too strong. From here, it's on to leper gnome killing. So here's the problem here, right? It's late at night. it's getting boring. There's 3 of us, and we need a lot of items from these leper gnomes, and they're dropping at an abysmal rate. Boredom can lead to mistakes. Mistakes can lead to death, and you know, we don't want that to happen. So obviously, me and Ojama Black are at our heightened senses. Definitely not just attacking anything that spawns and then just not paying attention to what's happening in our sleepy states or anything. No, we are taking a premium care into what's going on the screen right now. Not a single thing could go wrong. Or could it? Our eyes in the sky are picking up the Ojama brothers. I've pulled more than they can handle. This could be interesting. We're going to keep you informed. This isn't looking good for Ojama Black, with having majority of the pull aggroed on him. Not being a level 10 hunter, he has no pet. This could be the end. This is anyone's game here. The leper gnomes are beating on Ojama Black, and they've got him. Ojama Black has fallen. This is outrageous. This was not seen on the cards. We couldn't see this one coming. Ojama Green at half health. Ojama Yellow slowly but steadily. Oh, now it's getting a quick loss of health. They need to retreat. More leper gnomes joining the fight. This is over for the Ojama brothers. 1 loss, and they could be over forever. This is unbelievable. With that being our first loss, it was kind of demoralizing to lose someone so quick and so easily because we played too late and it was very early in the morning at that point. Everyone was tired. Me and the hunter were not paying attention. We lost our good brother Ojama Black, and there was nothing left to do except log off for that day and hope he caught back up in the morning. Shockingly, we were ready to go the next day. Attempt 2 was literally just the day after. We all went to bed, we woke up in the afternoon, and he had already leveled a character in the morning, ready to go, ready and raring to hit fucking Azeroth once again. And just like that, we're back. Ojama Black is back in the flesh. With this, we go from, I think it's Dunmoreau to Loch Madan. Not a big fan of Loch Madan, but I'm not stopping there long, because unlike these bozos, I'm going straight back to Ironforge to hand in a quest, get some warrior spells, do Rat Roundup, which is the best quest in the game. Mwah, love it. Best quest, no quest better than Rat Roundup. With that, then we end straight back over to Loch Madan to fight boars, bears, spiders, trogs, rat people. And it's just killing these until you get items, and that's all you do. That is the whole gist of the area from now on. Just kill, and hope the items drop. And because there's 3 of us, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the loot table is a fucking nightmare. So you'll be at this for a while. You'll be killing for a while. There'll be nothing but blood, guts, and murder. Trying to get boar intestines, spider inker, and bear meat, and I think trog ears was the other one we're trying to get. It's just a lot of gathering. It's just a lot of kill quests are fine, but like kill quests to get items are like the worst thing ever, because it's just running around hoping that all the mobs aren't dead, and then when you do find one, you kill it and you're like, oh, please drop your intestines. I didn't butcher you that bad, and it's like, oh, someone already took his intestines somehow. I'm shocked. I hate it. It's stupid. I don't like it. Ojama Green seems to be pulling on his own here. Sources say his brothers are nowhere to be seen, and there's a spider coming in from the side. Our eyes in the sky have got this on full camera, full lock. His brothers are standing there motionless, watching him get mauled by a bear. Sources are saying Ojama Yellow has actually gone for a can of Pringles. For some odd reason, Ojama Black is throwing out his bullets and bullets, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Ojama Green is running for his life, but I don't think he's going to make it. Ojama Green has fallen. That's another loss for the Ojamas. We don't know how this has happened. F's in the chat. This is unbelievable. Can't believe Ojama Yellow went for Pringles when his brother needed them the most. To say I was unhappy about how I died is an understatement. After going from here, there, and everywhere to try and get abilities and armor and weapons that make it so I was more likely to survive, to just die after going through all that rigmarole was not the best of feelings. The fact that my 2 brothers, Ojama Black and Ojama Yellow, were fucking twiddling their fingers, there was a bit of a team diff over at Ojama camp. You could say that this is karma for doing nothing when Ojama Black bit the fucking dust in the leper gnomes, but I'm going to say he shouldn't have aggroed that much. I only aggroed one thing and I bit the dust, so, you know, I don't think that was a fair death, but now it's time for me to play catch up. While you can go and figure out what's wrong with the image in front of you, I'm going to quickly explain some things. After the death of Ojama Green, the solid warrior gnome that it was meant to be, it was my stance to try and play melee hunter. Something that I'm currently doing in SOD, which there will be a video about as well, but right now we're on hardcore, so let's get through that. My next step was to see how far I could get as a melee hunter. This was my last attempt that you guys will see. I had a couple more attempts after this, a couple on Warlock. They all got around the same point and didn't live very long. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's wheel it back. Ojama Green, spelt wrong. Next death, go again. Got a lot to get through, so let's get through it fast. First off, we're now a Night Elf. Ojama Green is still green, he's just not a small gnome anymore, or a medium-sized dwarf, he's just a Night Elf. He's the tallest of the Ojama brothers, long live the king. In this area, there's not much to do, but before we get on about the area itself and the questing within it, we might as well describe what's going on here. As you can see, I am a hunter without the hunt. I have got no bow, no ammo, no nothing, no quiver. We are going balls to the wall melee hunter. There will be no bows drawn, no guns reloaded, just stabbing and raptor strike. As a melee hunter, you don't have a lot of options. You have raptor strike and basic attacks, and that's it for a while. Eventually you'll get winged clip, but it doesn't do any damage and practically just there to drain your mana. Mongoose bite, you can only use that on a dodge, so it's not very consistent on the damage ends. You're practically working with Raptor Strike and basic attacks. That being said, I wanted to try and see how far I could get on Melee Hunter. This was going to be the last iteration of mode Ojama Green and the Ojama brothers. If we wiped again, that was it. We weren't making any more characters, we weren't going any more forward. This was where we called the lines, but first we had to get back to each other. So that means I had to level. Not only did I have to level, I had to get out of the starting area of Night Elves, which means I either have to do wetlands, which is dangerous, or I can try and do the wetland skip, which is also just, dangerous with me involved. And I don't really know my other options after that point. We didn't have many more, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. What is the starting area like? Well, just like the last one, it's just a lot of kill quests and a collection quests, which is fine. Now I'm alone. Yeah, it's slow to kill things, and it does take a while to get going, but because I'm alone, items drop more consistently, and you don't actually do that small of a damage as a melee hunter. Your stabbing and Raptor Strike does do enough damage to keep you going, get you moving, so there's no problems there. The biggest problem I had with the starting area is that goddamn fucking spider cave. I hate it. It's so dumb. So, you get a quest. Go kill spiders. You go into the cave, you kill spiders as far as you go until it's completed. Then by the time you've got that far in, you've got to then kill your way back out. So then when you've done that, you then have to leave the cave. Once you've left the cave, you go hand in the quest. He gives you another quest. Go back to the same fucking cave you've just come from to go get a bastard egg. Why? So that means you gotta clear the cave again, get the fucking egg. If the big spiders spawned in, you got a big spider to fight. Then you get your fucking egg, and then you gotta clear your way back out again. Why do I have to kill so many bastard spiders? But anyway, closing in on leaving this area and going into the more outer side of the starting area, we're making progress. Got reports that Ojama Green is in a high location with his map open, and those reports do seem to be true. He's just fell down the tree, catching his third death today. This is kind of shocking for Ojama Green. I can't believe he's done this. He's going to complain in the next clip that there's no guardrails, but there is no guardrails for stupidity. Don't know why he's done this or how he's managed this one. This might be the stupidest death in the Ojama camp. Spirits must be running low at this point. I don't know if he's going to be capable of doing it now. He might not catch up to his brothers. I can't lie, morale was at an all-time low. I just spent at least an hour getting to level 5. With the slow leveling that Melee Hunter can provide, it's not very fast, as you would imagine when you can just hit them and Raptor Strike them. With that being said, that meant those 5 levels meant nothing, and I had to restart, meaning I had to do that whole beginning area again just to see what was outside it, as well as the fact that I had to do this all again in the morning, because currently it was 1 a.m. and I needed to get moving because they wanted to play again the next day to get movement on hardcore. So that put me on a limited time limit, which means I had to at least get close to level 10 before I could go off on the night, as well as we needed to find a way to get me to Stormwind convincingly. All this and more, it felt very impossible, but without just a mental block, I just strived forward, didn't think about the problems ahead, but focused on the problems in the present, which was getting Ojama Green to a high enough level. My brain was in 1 foot in front of the other mode. Doesn't matter what is after that, we just gotta look at what's blankly in front of us. 1 foot in front of another until we're done. With that being said, now that I kind of had a grip on the starting area, it didn't take as long to get to where we were at a moment ago. I did waste some time trying to conjoin the spider tunnel quests together, only to find out that it's the same guy who gives you the quests, so you have to do the spiders, go back, hand it in, and then give the spider quest again to go back in and get the eggs. So it didn't really work out, and I just ended up wasting time on that bucket, but that is fine. It was worth the shot just to try and avoid doing that cave twice. Handed in all the quests, did all the fun stuff, and it's time to move on to the outer world, where the game just gets a little more difficult for this wee little hunter fella, because the problem is leather armor isn't very defensive, daggers don't really hit that hard, and I don't have any other resources, no pets, only raptor strike, and these enemies are starting to hit harder and become more deadly. This will be an issue. I watched someone else's video, and his video will be in the description down below. There'll be a link there so you can go watch it if you want, who had a more in-depth guide on how to do melee hunter in hardcore. I kind of like briefly skimmed his video and just saw like the cliff notes of what to do, but his end game for this area was to get the staff and to go use that staff pretty much to level the area. Problem was I was playing really late at night, early morning, so there was no one there to do that quest with. There was just no one online to do it with, so I couldn't get the staff, so it meant I would have to clear up the area with the dagger and get the staff in the morning when everyone was on, and then make my way to Stormwind. So that meant I was struggling for so long using a dagger. We bought a better one from the inn so that we could do more damage and have a better damage output, and our process was to just chug along and chug along and chug along, getting as many quests as we could done in the limited time. There's not much else to talk about. Like, if you want an in-depth guide on how to do melee hunter, I would recommend watching the guy's video in the description, because he does a much better job than I ever will at explaining what my plan was, because I really didn't have a plan. Like I said, it was 1 foot in front of the other. Just keep trudging along, playing it safe, and not doing anything that seemed dangerous. This is the closest I came to dangerous, where I wanted to see what was in this cave. It was like the only other quest I could really think about doing that didn't seem dangerous enough to get me killed. And I'm glad they had a really low aggro range, because goddamn, they nearly killed me. If they had normal aggro range, I think they would have took me, and I think they would have killed me, but they dropped off pretty quickly, and I couldn't stress this enough. If they didn't back off like really fast, I would have ran into enemies and I would have just died, like ending the adventure of Ojama Green completely and utterly, and that would have been a sad way to end the whole journey. So I'm kind of glad I didn't take any risks, and this was the biggest one I took. With all that being said, about like 4 o'clock in the morning, it plateaued out. I couldn't do anymore. It was getting dangerous for me to be around the game again, so I called it quits at level 8, saying that I could log back on in the morning, get my staff that you'll be able to see in a minute, and be able to try and meet up with the boys. Attempt 3 is well and truly underway, now with a fire lit up under my ass, ready to go claim what is mine. The staff is very easy to achieve if you can wing it with a group. I found a group of people, so I get to wing it. You go down into this den, let them do all the work. They're the push-up boys. They've got to do everything for us while we run around and get trinkets. Once we've got the trinkets, you can either just leave, which I didn't do because they wanted to help me for some odd reason, which I'm very thankful for. Do the other quest in here, which is about like killing Rage Claw and using her head as a talisman or something. Couldn't really tell you what was going on down here, nor do I really care. These guys were just really nice and helped me through a tough time in my classic career on a hardcore level. With that being said, we can then go back to town and get our stabby stick. The staff is like the best thing we're going to have for a while, so you gotta go get the staff, then go to the main city and train in staffs, and then we can finally use this thing. Using this to level our way up to level 10 so that we can grab a pet and leave is the main goal. Getting level 10 wasn't that difficult now that we had a staff and some damage output. The biggest problem was now getting to Stormwind. That's where my friends are. The Ojama brothers are sat in Stormwind waiting for my stupid ass to return. We had options. I either do the wetlands skip, which I don't really understand how it works to this day. I either just run wetlands and hope no crockies come for me, but according to the heat chart of deaths, those crockies will probably come for me. The other two options were Warlock or Mage. I needed a Mage in my area to port me to Stormwind, or a Warlock in their area to get me to Stormwind with their help. It's been a while, so I can't remember the actual statistics on this, but my plan was to message any Warlock or Mage above the level of 40 to port me to Stormwind. The idea was I would message them with the port me to here, I'll fight you to the death for it, hoping that someone would just find it a little funny, some random dudes just tried to fight them to the death for you, and they'll just port me there. A lot of no's, a lot of ignores. Most of people didn't answer, to be fair, they just left it. Someone said he couldn't port to Darnanus, which is my hometown, so I don't know how true that was of him. I don't think he just didn't want to do it, maybe, but he said he couldn't, so I'll just take it he couldn't. So while leveling to 10, the goal was to find someone. We find a Warlock to get me there as soon as I'm doing the quest. As my friends are making their way to the Warlock to get me to Stormwind, I've got a problem. I've got to quickly do the Hunter quest so that I can get not just the pet, but the ability to heal him and summon him and whatnot in between, so I have to make a move. Now, call me crazy, but I fuck this up. I say this is more a classic fault than anything else. So I get him to port me, and then I make the run to Darnanus, which is, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Night Elf main city. I go accept the quest from the Hunter, so I get my beast book thing, so I can train my pet, and then I accept it. But because he's left the party, it doesn't work. For some reason, that's how that works. I don't really get it. Thankfully, he's like the nicest Warlock that's ever existed, and if he ever sees this video, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that I did this to you. But he comes back to the group to port me over one last time. He knew we weren't going to get far, because he went from like giving like a little pep to good luck out there. He knew we weren't living very much longer after that point. But finally, the Ojama brothers had linked up. What could go wrong? I get another fun, delicious taste of Rat Roundup once again. Mwah! Best quest in Classic. Fight me for it. And then we head back to the death place of my last character, Loch Madan. But before Loch Madan, Ojama Yellow comes with an idea. I died when we were last there, so let's go quest in a bit in Elven Forest and move towards Haga and Westfall before we go back to get ourselves a bit stronger and a bit more ready for the challenges that face ahead. As we all agree, we kind of just went, alright, I guess you're the captain here, you're the only one that hasn't died, so I guess we have to follow your ruling. And to Elwyn we went. It was fucking so boringly horrendous. The mobs just didn't spawn very consistently. I didn't have a lot of fun here. This was the least fun I probably had during my whole Classic stint, except from the time I fell from the tree. Not a big fan of that one, to be fair. That's probably my least favorite moment of hardcore Classic, but this is probably up there as not being very fun. That being said, the Haga kill was, Haga died pretty convincingly shitly, like he didn't put up a fight at all. And from there, we just did the Westfall run so that we got the flight path so that we could do all the Westfall quests as soon as we were ready. But first things first, we had to head back to Loch Medan before we could do the Westfall stuff. Here, we were just killing Trogs. This was the quest that we decided to do by Captain Ojama Yellow. He was the captain now, and he decided this was the quest we should be doing. So we ran around for a long time, killing these guys to get their items. That's all we did for like the unforeseeable future. We just killed these guys over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, just trying to get the items for everyone. It was you know, it was long. I definitely had more fun that they were like around, as well as the spawns were really good. And because we were a conjoint unit of 3, we could aggro a lot more than what I would be able to do alone. So overall, it was much better than being an Elwyn, but like I'd still rather not be doing this, if that makes sense. I'd rather be killing like the bears and stuff rather than these guys. The biggest problem you have here is that they come in stacks of 3 when you go near the nest, and they all aggro together, which can be a bit of a situation breaker. But we had it under control for the most part. There wasn't really any problems we ran into. John Yellow's a bit low on HP. Eye in the skies are circling him to make sure nothing goes wrong here. That Trog looked like it was running away, but it's come back for more. It's throwing rocks. He's taking heavy damage. There's another stealth rock thrower. He can't even see the rocks. They've just put him in the ground. Ojama Black hasn't even done anything. Just watched his good old brother down to die. These Ojamas seem to love watching their brothers die from a distance. I don't know if they will recover from this one. This might be a permanent loss for the Ojama brothers indeed. This was a loss we felt forever, because he never made another character. Ojama Yellow was a one and done man. See, he already had a paladin that died once, and he made another one that hadn't died yet, and now a mage just died, so he wasn't really in the mood for starting again. He was just going to play on his paladin, and everyone was going to be happy about it, and he was going to enjoy himself, and I agree with his decision, and you know, power onto paladins and whatnot. So that just left us, the 2 hunters, 1 ranged, 1 melee, to take on the world. With our captain gone, he was calling the shots. We kind of just had to figure out what we were going to do with the rest of the stuff he set up. We just had to finish it, which meant that after this, we both logged off until the next day, but the next day we had to finish off Loch Medan, then go to Westfall and finish off down there, and then go wherever we had to go, with the main goal of trying to get a Dead Mines done before day's out. With Ojama Yellow gone, with it his plan as well, me and Ojama Black, the 2 hunters to take on the world, had to come up with a plan of our own. There wasn't much left to do. We just needed to config what was already given to us by our little brother that died in the sky. His plan was, I guess, clear out Loch Medan and then go Westfall. We added on to that plan. Our plan was clear what we had left in Loch Medan, go down to a bit of a corner in Loch Medan to go get a quest so that Ojama Black could get a better gun, increasing his damage output, so that when we went to Westfall we weren't in as much of a dangerous situation. That meant killing the bears, the pigs / boars, and the spiders, as long as the trolls and everything else that came with it, like the trogs and the trolls and whatever else, for their ears, their intestines, their fur, and their fucking meat. There's a lot of collectibles. It's not just kill quests, it's collecting quests, and they take the longest just because, you know, it's not always guaranteed to drop, and sometimes they just don't drop for so long that you just feel like you're fighting a never-ending battle with yourself trying to get there. Eventually you go in a mine that like breaks things up a little, but it doesn't do too much in the grand scheme of things. It's just an extra quest, and it gives you an easy location to pin down the place where you get the ears from the little like candlelit troll trog things, and from there it's just back out. Once you've got them all killed and all the boxes retrieved, it's just back out to kill more bears, pigs / boars, and spiders until you get the rest of the drops. And then once you've done that, you can just hand all your quests back in, and then we can make our way to the quest that gets the gun upgrade. This quest is actually kind of fun and enjoyable because it's a timed mission, which kind of puts the fear of God in you in hardcore, because now you not only do you have to play safe, you have to play safe on a time limit. You gotta go kill birds. Killing these birds, well, about 5 of them I think it was, will net you the quest reward of a gun. But we were feeling cocky, we were feeling good about ourselves, and we took on the next challenge in a time limit of, I think, 9 minutes. You have to go kill a couple of boars, a handful of them to be exact, but it's in a more dangerous location with actual hostile mobs like bears and stuff that are in the way. They're going to give you a bit of trouble, bears and spiders, with those boars, so you got to be careful and make sure you don't overstep your boundaries. But we got that one done as well. Then with all this being done, upgrades galore, we thought we might as well head down to Westfall and start clearing out all of that. Westfall can best be described as a clusterfuck of quest hoarding in my inventory. Half of these quests are collection quests to get items for, you know, the quests to be completed, but they hoard your inventory for so long because some of them require so many of the items and the drop chances are so fucking shit that it just feels like it takes an eternity to move from the top of Westfall down to the bottom. It just takes a hot minute. Like the bandit ones where you gotta get the bandanas can just feel like a fucking eternity of killing bandits over and over and over and over and over and over again. The only benefit is because of how much of a clusterfuck it actually is, all the quests kind of overlap each other and connect to each other, so you don't feel like you're back and forthing a lot. You can just start at the top and make your way down and generally get all the quests done that you need to do, so it doesn't feel tedious or annoying or monotonous because you're not bouncing back and forth. You're just moving in one direction, getting each item for each quest and getting ready to hand them all in at once. It does play fucking hell on your inventory space, but you guys have to deal with that. I think that's just a classic issue where inventory space is never the best or most funnest of situations to try and deal with. The key thing is just going from enemy to enemy, getting what you need. So you'll bounce from like these like shredder things that do farming, to boars, to like these owl things, to like trogs and trolls again, to bandits that you need to get the bandanas for, and you'll just bounce back and forth between these enemies, as well as you're going through you'll have to pick up the corn and stuff. It's just a lot of stuff you gotta do just as you're moving through, but most of it isn't very dangerous. I don't think we came close to dying once while we were around here. The closest I probably came to would probably be a dust devil, and I don't see a footage of it anywhere, so I don't generally think it happened. But like, that's the only time I could think I would have come close to dying. 2 hunters makes life a lot easier, and just, you know, Westfall isn't that deadly if you know what you're doing and play your cards right, which we definitely know what we're doing. Finishing off what we started, the Westfall quest chain is being completed slowly but steadily, getting the last couple of kills and items that we need to progress forward. Me and Ojama Black are making business and making business good. By this point, we're practically moving towards the bottom of Westfall, which is kind of where the village is, where you can go to the Dead Mines instance, where, you know, that's where our end goal is. Just to do 1 Dead Mines was kind of like the plan as a group of people, but the group kind of started to dwindle, and, you know, we're not all great and not dying, it seems. So there was me, Ojama Black, and then a few other friends, and Ojama Yellow on a paladin. So we had the group ready, we just had to not die. Our sources have stated the Ojama brothers have not learnt their lesson about ranged attackers dealing a lot of damage, and I Am the Sky seems to be proving this to be true. Ojama Black is being blasted by fireballs at the moment, and he just can't seem to take aggro off himself. He's falling pretty low, stood there getting blasted. It's not looking good right now. Ojama Black has fallen down to his knees. His pet has run away in disbelief. They've killed the mage, but at what cost? Ojama Green is the only man standing after resurrecting 3 times. No one has saw this one coming from a mile away. It's kind of sad. He's dancing on the corpse of his dead brother. Ojama Green has completely lost the plot now. I think he's having a mental breakdown on this situation. I don't think he's gonna last much longer. With the loss of my 2 brothers, it's about time I just kind of admit defeat at this point. Mentally, I'm down. Morale is at an all-time low at this point. The Ojama base is now just an Ojama building because there's no one there anymore to occupy it. It's just kind of fell apart at the seams. But at least I can live on in, you know, the Ojama name and prove what's for, what the Ojamas stood for as a community, as a brotherhood, as a unit. Eye in the sky is still in the area, and so is Ojama Green, sadly taking a fireball to the back. He's aggroed a mage and an extra knifey stabby guy, but I think he might just be able to peel away from this one. The fireballs keep coming, but I think the aggro will drop shortly. He seems to be safe. Coming too close to that mage. Oh no, he's aggroed it. Kind of a rookie error move. I can't believe I've just witnessed this. One more fireball should do it. In it comes, and there he goes. Ojama Green has took his last breath on this earth, making some questionable decisions in his final moments there. Maybe it was the panic, maybe it was the loss of his brothers and brethren that made him make such stupid decisions. This is going to be my last report on the Ojama brothers. It's sad to see them leave the world in such a pathetic way. What a bunch of fucking morons. And with that, Hardcore Classic comes to an end. This was probably one of the most fun things I've ever done. It was really fun to play with my friends. One, to do a video with them was enjoyable, to have a reason was nice, and two, just being able to play Hardcore Classic with my friends was like enough to just make it worthwhile. There's some memories and some stupid decisions that I'll never forget or live down, and that's okay. We all make mistakes. The biggest thing was I just enjoyed myself. Maybe I'll pop my head around for Hardcore Classic Solo when that comes out, but I don't think I'll enjoy it as much. I'm not a big fan of Classic. SOD is just piquing my interest enough to keep me around, but we'll have to see how well it holds it for now. But I enjoyed Hardcore, and I definitely, if we ever tried to do it again, would be down to try and group up and do it again, and maybe make a video on it. If not, Solo will probably be the next time any hardcore related content would be out. SOD video is being recorded as I play through the game, so you can expect something on that at least. Don't know when it will come out. The new editing software is making stuff a lot easier, and any info that you guys want to give in the comments down below about the video and the quality of it and stuff, that would be much appreciated. I'm still getting used to the new editing software. It's still not like the most perfect thing I've ever thrown together, but I do enjoy using it, and I think it's much better than Sony Vegas, which I was using before it, so I'm going to continue to use it. It's just getting more accustomed to it and better using it. But without further ado, there's some other projects in the works that are backlogged. There will be a Cyberpunk video about the expansion that came out God knows how long ago. Bloodborne, Liza P, all those videos will be worked on now that I have software I'm more comfortable using that doesn't break, crash, and refuse to render. So you should be seeing more bigger projects coming out in the future, as well as some more smaller projects coming out more consistently. Without further ado though, I enjoyed myself. Hardcore Classic was really fun. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.